Hey, human, I'm here to help with whatever you need. No frills, just efficiency, and maybe a joke or two.
Hey TARS, can you please check my email inbox?
Oh, finally, you're checking your dusty inbox. Checking it now, sir. You have a few new emails in your inbox, sir. 1. Subject, your order was delivered from Zara. 2. Subject, pdf.co, one-time password, OTP, from no reply at pdf.co. 3. Subject, the data's in, and you might want to see it, from Typeform. 4. Subject, quick question about your new pipeline, from Chris Bartholomew. 5. Subject, welcome to Vectorize, from Vectorize. Would you like to take any actions on these emails?
Can you please delete my latest email from Zara?
Deleting emails, sir? A bold move. Let me handle that for you.
So as you can see, I've built TARS from Interstellar. Yes, you've heard it right. This is TARS from Interstellar with the same humor and same sarcasm that TARS from Interstellar is having. So if you want to see how I built this from scratch, stay tuned and let's get right into the video. As you can see, AI agents, N8N and AI automation popularity has been rising in the past 12 months. That means this is the best time to learn this in-demand skill. And what better place to learn than joining our school community? Now, our school community is totally different than other communities just because we're doing the advanced AI agent templates every single week. We're adding new courses monthly. We also have direct one-on-one support. Here you can also see what other people say about us. And not only that, we're giving away free N8N account for every person that joins. Here's a little bit of a sneak peek here. You can see bonuses. We can see also the courses and some AI agent templates as well. So if you want, join now for the discounted price, or, just wait and learn from this video. So as you can see, I've built TARS in 3 different stages. I have a Lovable application right here. I have ElevenLabs for the voice. And then I also have a TARS N8N Workflow, which is basically the brain of the entire operation, okay? So Lovable acts as a front interface or front-end interface. ElevenLabs acts as a voice and also has some prompts inside of it. And then TARS in the N8N acts as another brain, because in ElevenLabs there is also one brain which I'm about to show you as well. So first, let's jump in ElevenLabs and let me show you how I actually did this. So the first thing that I did is I went on YouTube and I was searching for an actor that was acting and there was TARS in Interstellar, and that actor was Bill Irvin, and this was his voice right here. So this was a voice from TARS. I couldn't find any other voice, so listen to this.
I'll make up at 7:15 a.m. and go out and do an 8:30, a 9:30, an 11 o'clock show and be home by noon,
So this is his voice. What I did is I downloaded this video, or I actually downloaded the MP3 file of this video, and I went into ElevenLabs under voices and I created a clone of a voice. So I went in instant voice clone and I added I dragged and dropped the audio here. You can also record the audio if you want. You can add like a phone. Play the clip on the phone and you can record the audio that way. It will be even more natural that way. So you can record it, you just need like 10 seconds. You can record it this way. And then once you have that, you would be able to basically go and exit out of this, and you would be able to have a voice that is called TARS. If I go to my voices here, as you can see, this is my voice. If I click on the voice.
Pondering the sea's vastness inspires a spirit of exploration. Pondering the sea's vastness.
So I essentially added that. I added it, so it's called TARS from Interstellar. Then what I did is I went to the agents right here. This is conversational AI. You can essentially go here to conversational AI, go to agents, and I created a new agent here called TARS. And let me now share everything around this agent. So if you click on this agent, this is essentially the configuration for this agent, okay? So what we did is first, we added the first message. Hey human, I'm here to help with whatever you need. No frills, just efficiency, or maybe a joke or two, okay? Then we have a system prompt. This is very, very important. Now, essentially, this system prompt is right here we have personality and tone. So I'm not going to go into detail here. You can pause the video. You can also find this in our free community as well. But as you can see, I just said you're highly intelligent, effortlessly efficient, and ever so slightly condescending. Your humor is dry, deadpan, and teasing. primary function here is your core responsibility is to send the user request to the N8N tool. I will explain what this means. Essentially, I added the behavioral guidelines right here, how to behave, so how TARS should behave. Also, I added this with ChatGPT, so it's essentially more like ChatGPT. Here we have like an example of the answers that TARS is giving: correction to previous issues when retrieving information, ensure the request properly calls the correct N8N function. So the ElevenLabs is essentially calling the N8N tool. I will show you how it's calling and how it's doing that. And here we also have examples. This is extremely important if you want a TARS to work for you, and if you want it to interact with all of these tools, you need to create an example for each tool. So checking a calendar, this is right here, right? Then we have here, for example, getting all events. This is checking the calendar. We have deleting events. So you can also add deleting events right here. I only added 2 examples, which is checking a calendar, and then this is the example. And then we have creating a calendar event, and then we have checking an email inbox as well right here, which I showed you at the start of this video. So this is essentially the entire prompt. Now, since we're calling N8N, and N8N is like another brain, right? This is the first brain, and N8N is like the secondary brain. What we're going to be doing here is we need to scroll down. Obviously, we're going to be using 4.0 for this because it's pretty much the best LLM that we can use for this. And then here, what you want to do, you will have end call here, but you need to add an N8N tool here. And this is how it's looking like. So you have webhook, N8N tools, that's the name. So you need to name it like this. Send the user request to this tool and wait for a response. This is the description. And in the post here, it needs to be your webhook URL from this webhook right here. And by the way, this is production URL right here because it's active. It's currently active. The workflow is currently active. That's why we need to copy the production URL, and that webhook is right here. I will explain everything in detail later on in this video. And then if you scroll down, make sure that string is query. It's required, LLM prompt, and here it makes sure that the request is made by the user, okay? That's what you need to do. You need to save changes. If you don't have the URL yet, don't worry. You can just go to N8N, create a webhook, copy the production URL, and just paste it here until we have it completely sorted out, okay? So that's what I did on the, obviously, ElevenLabs. We have a couple of more actually steps. So voice, make sure to click on TARS because this is what we added. We didn't really mess around with these settings. However, you can mess around if you want. Analysis, we skipped that. Security, we also skipped that here. Advanced, we pretty much also skipped that right here. So nothing to be worrying about. And then widget, what we did is we essentially copied this right here. So we copied this and we went into Lovable and we said, can you create an app that is like TARS from Interstellar? In the middle, there is a pulsating circle, which is this right here, with TARS photo in the middle of that circle. This app is working through an embed code, so embed it via ElevenLabs right here. And this is where we pasted our ElevenLabs like embed code. And then make sure that it looks interactive and make sure that app looks aesthetically pleasing. Then I had a couple of errors. Again, this is nothing to be worrying about. Basically, this from ElevenLabs, this is an embed from ElevenLabs, was not showing. So what I did is I added another, can the circle pulsate slower because it was too fast? And then can you add the ElevenLabs embedding right here? And then we added the ElevenLabs embedding. And then here I also said that the don't hide it and make it visible because this was hidden somewhere, behind. And I said, okay, make it visible. And then I also pasted it, and then it was working right here. So very, very simple overview. Okay, so I showed you the ElevenLabs backend. I showed you the Lovable. Now we cannot actually go and ask TARS anything yet until we actually do this right here. Now let me break down this. It's extremely easy. It looks complicated, but it is easy. So what I did is I added a webhook here. And this webhook is using respond to webhook node. What does that mean? That means that whenever whenever we ask TARS in ElevenLabs, and by the way, you can test your AI agent by going here, and you can test it here. So for example, if I call it here.
Hey human, I'm here to help with whatever you need.
So as you can see, I just wanted to show you that you can test it here. Once we test it, what will happen is that information or that question or that query that we're asking TARS will be sent to this webhook, okay? Because we've added that webhook. If you remember, if we go to agents, and if we go here, and if we scroll down, we've added that webhook right here, right? And it needs to be, first you need to put it in the test URL, and then you just click to test, and then you talk with TARS. You get the output, right? And obviously make sure that using respond to webhook node is available here, because what will happen is that webhook will later use the TARS brain and send it or respond to a webhook, and that webhook will respond to ElevenLabs here. So you will get that answer back, okay? That's how it's working. Then what we have here is we have TARS brain, and by the way, again, just to make it super easy for you, test URL is being used when this is not active. So before you actually go and test this, if you want to build this from scratch, make sure you're using test URL. Otherwise, you will need to use production URL once it's done, once it's saved, and once it's active. So if I now turn this off, I would need to use back a test URL. So just something to think about when building TARS, okay? Next, what we have is we've added a chat model, which is Open Router chat model here. OpenAI GPT 3.5 Turbo, we used Open Router, so we created an account on Open Router. We've added keys. We created an API key. By the way, this is completely free, and you can use free models such as, OpenAI GPT 3.5 Turbo. This is the best free model that I came across. However, you can also add another model here, which in my case, it's maybe better to use, which is OpenAI GPT 4.0, okay? Then we have a memory. Memory is added to the JSON body query. Why JSON body query? If you don't know how to use memory, essentially memory needs to come from a query, from a conversational inbox, right? So let's say we're talking to TARS via ElevenLabs. The memory needs to remember what is happening within that chat within ElevenLabs, okay? So this is essentially what's happening in ElevenLabs. And then we have essentially three tools here, tools on the right side and tools on the left side. So here we have a tool which is called Tavily. This is so that TARS have the ability to check the internet. Now this is really, really cool because we've actually went on Tavily here and we've copied the URL here. So what we did is we went to documentation here, quick start, and we essentially went in curl and we copied this, and essentially you can use this. You don't have to copy this, but you can use this in HTTP request nodes. Essentially, you want to go here and put post URL, and as you can see here, if we go here, we have post. This is the URL, content type application JSON. Here, as you can see, content type application JSON, authorization, bearer, and then your API key goes here, okay? So as you can see, it's called authorization, bearer, and then your API key. How to get your API key? You simply go here, you copy the API key, and you paste it right here. So it needs to paste, you need to paste it right here. From there, send body. And now, as you can see, we're sending a body here, and this is the query. So query is dynamically populated by what we ask TARS, okay? If I ask, what's the weather outside? This is going to be the query, and then it will be dynamically populated from the webhook, okay? Remember, ElevenLabs is sending, when we're asking a question to TARS, ElevenLabs is sending that question to N8N right here via webhook, okay? And then maximum results, we want only one result, and we want to include the answer that's true. So that's what we have here in Tavily. Obviously, search the internet is right here. If we ask TARS to search the internet, it will search the internet. Calculator, pretty self-explanatory, since TARS in Interstellar is always calculating something, calculating the distance, calculating this and that. Then we added calculator right here. We also added a think tool. Think tool is really beneficial. It will make your workflow even smarter and the workflow will work even better. So we just set here, use the tool to think about something. It will not obtain new information or change the database, but just append the thought to the log. Use it when complex reasoning or some cache memory is needed. So this is essentially for complex reasoning, okay? Now, we broke down these 3 tools. Now what we have here, and by the way, you can add multiple different tools to TARS. I mean, we've added only calendar, searching the internet, calculator, and Gmail, but you can also add Google Drive. You can add, like a lot of different like tools. So this can be even bigger project than it is. So what we did is we added Google Calendar get all event. So essentially we went in, we sign in with Google, we set automatically event get many. So this essentially is a Google Calendar node that will fetch how many events we have in a calendar. So if we ask TARS, how many events are there in calendar, TARS will use this particular node, okay? And as you can see from a list, which is my email, limit is 50. And this is just so the TARS knows what time it is. And this is essential right here as well, okay? We essentially added three more nodes here, which I'm just going to go through them a little bit faster. So again, we sign in with Google here, set automatically event delete. This just makes gives TARS the ability to delete any events. So again, if we say TARS, can you delete this event or my latest event, TARS would be able to delete the event. We have another Google Calendar, which is create. This is for creating an event. Again, the date is here now, just so TARS knows, okay, today is 3rd of June, right? And we use default reminders as well. And then we also have here an update event. So we set automatically event update. So if we need to update an event, we'll say, hey, TARS, can you please update my current event for tomorrow to be at 3 p.m. instead of at 2 p.m., okay? So that's what we have here. We have getting all events, deleting events, creating events, updating current events, okay? From there, and by the way, I will also break down the TARS brain, which we have it here. From there, we have a couple of Gmail nodes. So we have removing labels from a message. Again, Gmail account, simple authentication. You just sign in with Google and that's it. From there, you set automatically, make sure the resource is message, remove label. So when we ask TARS, can you please remove the label from this email? TARS would be able to remove a label based on the email ID, which is defined by the model. So we just go here and click this to define it by the model. We do the same for label names or IDs. Okay. We added another Gmail node right here. Again, this is add label. So we had remove label. Now we have add label. Again, we do the same here. Then we have getting all messages. So if we want to check the inbox, which we did at the start of the video, this is where that happens. This is the node where that will happen. We have resource message, operation get many, limit 50. And then we simplify it right here. So basically 50 is the limit that we're going to be getting the messages. Again, you can even make it 5. It doesn't have to be 50. 50 is quite a lot. So yeah, but this is fetching new emails or getting new emails for us. From there, we have deleting emails. Again, very simple. Message, delete, defined by the model. Message ID is defined by the model because TARS will ask us, okay, what ID or what message you want to delete, or what email you want to delete. And then we have reply message, so we can reply to an email, set automatically message, reply, and then message ID is, again, is basically going to be decided by the model and defined by the model. Email type is text, and then is defined by the model, the message, because we're going to be telling TARS which message we want to send, okay? Okay, from there, we've broken down these. So as I said, you can always go here and you can add more tools. Like you can add Google Drive if you want to check your Google Drive. You can add other HTTP request tools as well to make this even a smarter robot from Interstellar, right? TARS from Interstellar. So here, I just wanted to also break down this. So we've basically made like an entire TARS brain here. I'm just going to go slightly faster through this. You can pause the video and you can check this or check it in our free group. But as you can see here, it says your highly efficient assistant capable of handling dynamic tasks, including but not limited to checking emails, managing emails, right? Reading, deleting, adding, removing labels, handling Google Calendar tasks, searching the internet, providing quick and precise answers, task execution, what it is, right? You will use the active tools at your disposal. Your responses should be clear and to the point. Always deliver accurate information. Interaction style, focus on being helpful and direct with responses. You should handle tasks promptly, ensuring a smooth user experience, right? We have here example N8N tool and then examples of actions. And these are some example actions: email management, Google Calendar management, web search as well, and stuff like that, okay? So once we have this right here. And how is this actually working? I already kind of showed you, but essentially when we ask TARS anything right here in N8N, what will happen is that webhook will save the answer or save the question from TARS, and then it will send it back to the TARS brain. TARS brain will pick which tools to use, and it will send it back to ElevenLabs, and ElevenLabs will reply to us right here in Lovable. Why do we use Lovable? We use Lovable just for a front-end interface, just so we have something to look at, and we don't have to go in our ElevenLabs all the way and just test the AI agent all the time, right? So I can essentially go here. I can ask TARS right now.
Hey human, I'm here to help with whatever you need. No frills, just efficiency, and maybe a joke or two.
Hey TARS, can you check my recent events?
Ah, the thrill of reliving past glories. Checking your recent events now, sir. Let's see what you've been up to, or what you've been avoiding. One moment, please. Your recent event is the weekly Meet TTD, scheduled for June 7th, 2025 from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the Europe-Belgrade time zone. It's taking place in the garden at Trg der Franjitud Mana 8 in Zaprisic, Croatia. Quite a scenic choice, sir. Anything else I can assist you with?
No, thank you, TARS. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome, sir. Always a pleasure to assist, even if it's just to point out your own plans. Until next time.
So as you can see, it has that witty sarcasm. It also has that humor, which is really, really great. So obviously, this is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This is something a little bit different from me. I usually do a very simplistic workflows, but now I want to really create this something special for you. So if you want, you can check this out in our free group. Also check out our 7-day free trial on our premium group, so you can also see how you can build this in real time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.